Millions of records, exposed overnight, not stolen by a mastermind hacker in a dark room, not breached by a sophisticated zero-day exploit, just left open for the world to see. Imagine a vault housing a corporation's most guarded secrets, but the door was never even closed. In the time it takes you to watch this, thousands of files are being leaked into the digital void. What if your most sensitive data, your financial history, your trade secrets, is already public right now without you knowing? This isn't just a technical failure, it's a structural crisis. Today, we investigate the invisible exposure that is compromising the global corporate landscape. We peel back the layers of the digital sky to find the cracks in the armor. Welcome to the silent epidemic of the cloud. This is the story of how our greatest convenience became our greatest risk. For years, the promise was simple: flexibility, scalability, and speed. The cloud was supposed to be the ultimate safe haven for corporate data. It allowed teams in New York to collaborate with engineers in Tokyo in real time. It removed the burden of physical hardware, offering infinite storage at the click of a button. Data became fluid, accessible anytime, anywhere, and from any device. This digital transformation was hailed as the future of business efficiency. Every major enterprise rushed to migrate their crown jewels to the invisible servers of giants. But as the world rushed to migrate their assets into this invisible infrastructure, the focus was on connectivity, not containment. We embraced the convenience of the cloud without fully understanding the complexity of its gates. We traded the lock and key for a login and a prayer. But beneath this surface of convenience lies a silent, pervasive risk that most executives never see until it's too late. The very feature that makes the cloud so powerful, its accessibility, is also its greatest vulnerability. It's called misconfigured access. It's the digital equivalent of leaving your front door wide open while you go on vacation. Organizations are storing petabytes of sensitive information in virtual buckets, but they are failing to check the locks. A single line of code, an oversight in a security policy, or a misunderstanding of a shared responsibility model can transform a private asset into a public broadcast. The cloud isn't inherently insecure, but it is unforgiving of human error. It is a world where one person's mistake becomes everyone's headline. The risk is not the cloud itself, but the hands that manage it. It starts with a simple click. Meet Rahul, a stress system administrator working through a massive cloud migration. In the rush to meet a deadline, he toggles a setting to allow public access, just to test a connection. He intends to turn it back off, but the phone rings, a meeting starts, and the task is forgotten. This isn't a malicious act, it's a fatigue-driven oversight. But in the cloud, there is no second chance. The moment that bucket goes public, it is indexed. It becomes visible to anyone who knows where to look. One incorrect setting on one Friday afternoon can lead to a decade of legal battles and $1 billion loss in market capitalization. It is the butterfly effect of the digital age. A single click, a momentary lapse, and the corporate fortress is breached from within. The human element remains the weakest link in the digital chain. The problem is compounded by a lack of discipline. Too many users, too much access, and far too little control. In many corporate environments, credentials are shared like common office supplies. Administrative privileges are granted to those who don't need them, simply because it's easier than following strict protocols. This privilege creep creates a massive attack surface. When everyone has the keys to the kingdom has no real security. We see instances where junior contractors have access to entire customer databases, or where old accounts from former employees remain active for years. Weak access control is not a technical bug. It is a management failure that leaves the back door wide open for disaster. It is a culture of convenience over security, where the path of least resistance leads directly to a catastrophic data breach. Perhaps the most frightening aspect of the cloud is the shadow IT, the data that organizations don't even know they have. Data flows across systems, between third-party apps, and through personal cloud accounts without any central monitoring. How can you protect what you cannot see? Most organizations lack a comprehensive inventory of their cloud assets. They are operating in the dark, hoping that their primary defenses are enough. But as data replicates and moves, it often loses its original security wrappers. Sensitive information ends up in test environments or backup folders that aren't monitored. In this lack of visibility, breaches don't just happen, they flourish, hidden in the blind spots of the corporate network. It is a vast, unmapped territory where secrets are stored in plain sight, waiting for the wrong eyes to find them. While IT teams sleep, the machines are awake. Modern attackers don't spend their days manually guessing passwords. They deploy automated scanning bots that traverse the entire internet every few minutes, looking for one thing: an open database. These bots don't care who you are. They only care that your door is unlocked. They are relentless, programmed to identify misconfigurations in seconds. Once a bot finds an open bucket, it alerts the attacker, providing a direct link to the exposed data. It's a digital dragnet, catching thousands of companies every single day. The attackers aren't breaking in, they are simply scanning and discovering the invitations we've accidentally left for them. It is a silent war of automation, where the first to find the open door wins the prize. In the cloud, being discovered is the first step toward being destroyed. Once a vulnerability is discovered, the extraction is instantaneous. This isn't like a physical heist where thieves have to carry boxes out of a building. In the cloud, petabytes of data can be copied silently across the world in a matter of minutes. There is no physical resistance, no alarm bells ringing in the hallway. The data is simply duplicated. By the time an administrator might notice a slight spike in egress traffic, the damage is done. The attacker now has a full copy of your most sensitive assets, stored on their own encrypted servers, ready to be sold on the dark web or used for corporate espionage. It is a silent, invisible theft that leaves the original files perfectly in place, giving the illusion of security while the value has already been drained. You don't know you've been robbed until the consequences arrive at your door. The human cost of these breaches is staggering. Consider a scenario where a major healthcare provider misconfigures a backup server. Suddenly, millions of patient records, names, addresses, medical histories, and financial details are visible to anyone with the link. This isn't just a corporate PR disaster. It's a life-altering event for the victims. Identity theft, financial fraud, and the loss of personal privacy follow. For the corporation, the fallout includes massive regulatory fines, class action lawsuits, and a permanent stain on their reputation. In the cloud, the distance between a customer's trust and a total privacy collapse is only as wide as a single misconfigured firewall rule. It is a breach of more than just data. It is a breach of the fundamental promise of security we make to our customers. But it's not just customer data at risk. Intellectual property, the very secrets that give a company its competitive edge, is often the primary target. Imagine a manufacturing firm losing its proprietary designs or a pharmaceutical giant losing years of research data because of a weak access link. There is no alert, no sound of a break-in. Just the quiet realization months later when a competitor launches an identical product. The financial impact can be catastrophic. We're talking about risks exceeding $25 million in immediate competitive loss, not to mention the long-term erosion of market share. In the cloud, your most valuable ideas are only as secure as the weakest permission in your environment. When your trade secrets are left in the open, your future is traded for pennies on the dark web. The most terrifying part? In many of these cases, the security dashboard shows all normal, because the data was accessed via a legitimate, albeit misconfigured, public link. No hacking occurred in the traditional sense. No malware was deployed, no passwords were brute-forced, and no firewalls were breached. To the system, it looked like a normal request for public data. This is why traditional intrusion detection systems often fail to catch cloud exposures. The tools are looking for a break-in, but they aren't looking for a door that was left open by design. This silence is what allows breaches to persist for months, or even years, before they are finally discovered. It is the perfect crime because, from the outside, it looks like standard business operation. The greatest threat is the one that follows the rules. Statistical data shows that cloud breaches are often discovered long after the initial exposure began. On average, it takes months for an organization to realize their data has been public. Often, they only find out when a security researcher sends a polite email, or worse, when the data appears on a leak site. This delay gives attackers an incredible window of opportunity. They can map out the entire corporate structure, identify key executives for phishing, and wait for the most damaging moment to strike. The longer the exposure lasts, the more difficult it becomes to quantify the damage. In the world of cloud security, time is not on your side. It is the attacker's greatest ally. Each passing day is a potential headline, a potential loss, and a potential collapse of corporate integrity. Every second counts, but in the cloud, those seconds are often ignored. But there are always red flags if you know where to look. Unusual spikes in outbound data transfer. Unknown access patterns from geographic regions where you have no customers. Storage buckets that have remained public for no documented reason. These are the whispers of a coming storm. The challenge is that these signals are often buried under a mountain of daily logs and operational noise. Without specialized cloud security posture management, these warnings go unheard. A proactive approach means searching for these anomalies every single day. It means questioning every public link and auditing every permission. The signals are there. The question is anyone actually listening? In the noise of the digital age, the most important warnings are often the quietest. We must train our eyes to see the invisible flags. As we look at the wreckage of these breaches, a powerful realization emerges. The cloud itself is not the problem. It is one of the most secure and robust technologies ever created. The real risk is mismanagement. It is the gap between the power of the technology and the discipline of those who operate it. We have built Ferraris of data storage but are driving them with the lights off. Security in the cloud is a shared responsibility, but far too often, the shared part is misunderstood. The provider secures the infrastructure, but you, the user, must secure what you put inside it. Until we bridge this gap, the invisible exposure will continue to claim victims. It is a partnership of trust, but that trust must be verified, tested, and maintained every single day. The cloud is safe. It's the humans who aren't. The future of cloud security is not just about stronger encryption or taller firewalls. It is about visibility and intelligent control. We are moving toward an era of AI-driven security monitoring, where systems can detect and auto-remediate misconfigurations the second they occur. Imagine a world where Rahul's accidental click is instantly reversed by an intelligent agent that knows the data should never be public. This is the path forward, a shift from reactive defense to proactive governance. By embracing these tools, we can finally realize the full potential of the cloud without the fear of invisible exposure. The tools exist. The knowledge is here. All that's left is the will to act. We must evolve at the speed of the cloud or be left behind in its shadows. The choice is ours, visibility or vulnerability. If this video opened your eyes, like, share, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Corporate Secrets. Protecting your data starts with knowing the secrets behind the screen. Stay vigilant, stay informed. I'll see you in the next investigation. Thank you for watching.